welcome to our Crazy Life Scotland. My name's Fiona, and in today's video I am going to be showing you how to make your very own air fresheners with whatever picture you want. And we're going to do it by using this kit that I got from Beebeecraft as part of their YouTube programme, which I'll talk about in a second, and sublimation. So sublimation is using a special kind of ink which you heat up, and when you heat it up to a certain temperature it turns into a gas and transfers through certain surfaces. So these are sublimatable blanks. In other words, the ink, when you heat it up, can actually travel into these blanks and it then stays there and it won't go anywhere. So it is a special kind of ink. You do need a specific type of printer and paper as well, just to let you know that. But if sublimation is something that you're interested in, it's definitely worth the investment because you can do so much with sublimation. I got my sublimation printer a good few years ago now. I use it a lot and I've not actually had to replace the ink yet. You get a lot of use out of it, and the paper isn't that expensive. The actual printer wasn't that expensive either. I believe there are some printers you can convert to sublimation printers, but I don't know an awful lot about that. Anyway, if you're interested, I can leave a link to, if not the printer that I've got, because it is quite old now, something very similar, in the description below. It's not an affiliate link or anything like that, but it just gives you an idea of the sort of price of them. Anyway, that's what sublimation is, and the advantage of that is you can use any picture you want. You can use a photograph if you want. You can use a family photo, a photo of your pet. You can use clip art. You can use basically any kind of PNG file, any picture file or JPEG file you can use for sublimation, which is amazing. So this kit, as I said, I got from Beebeecraft. I will put the price on the screen for you, and I will leave the link in the description of this video as well as the link to the Beebeecraft website, my 10% off discount code and information on the YouTube programme, so you can become a part of the Beebeecraft community and get gifted free products to show your viewers if you've got a YouTube channel with 100 subscribers or more. Let's get into this. So the kit, we get some round blanks, and we get some rectangular blanks and some oval ones. So you get a lot in this. Look, there's still a lot more in there. As well as that, you get little tassels for them, and you get the elastic for hanging them, and you get jump rings and eye hooks as well. Now, these are brilliant because they are so versatile. You can use them in a car, you can use them in a house. I'm actually planning to put one in my cupboard because my cupboard doesn't smell the best, and I think it would be nice just to have a little air freshener in there. So much potential with these. As well as that, you get these little resealable bags to put them in. So as soon as you put your fragrance on your air freshener, you can seal them in the bag so the fragrance lasts longer. So today what I am going to do, I am going to make two, and I'm going to do them two different ways. I'm going to make a round one with the Cricut, using the Cricut, and I'm going to use, I think I might use the oval one actually, and I'm going to do that using Word rather than the Cricut, just in case you've not got a Cricut. You don't need to have a Cricut to do this. You just need some sort of program that you can print the design in the size that you want. The other things that you're going to need, as I said, is a sublimation printer, sublimation ink, sublimation paper, and some sort of scent to give your air fresheners a nice smell. I have got a few actually. I've got this one, which is Christmas Spice, that I got from Amazon, and it's a pure fragrance oil. I'm not going to use that today, but I certainly will at Christmas. I'm going to make lots of Christmas air fresheners. I also got this from Amazon. It is a fragrance oil, coconut and vanilla, and it came with a little dropper. Now what you want to do is you want to make sure that whatever you're scenting your air fresheners with are clear, or else it will discolour your lovely air freshener, and we don't want that. So I made sure this one is clear. You can use anything. I think you can use like reed diffuser oils and things as well. It doesn't need to be essential oils. Everything else is in the kit. Now, I am going to bring you down and let you see what files I'm going to use. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is go into Word, because I'm going to use that to show you how to do it if you haven't got a Cricut. And in this one, I am going to use the oval. So I need to bring my files in. Now, the files that I'm using today, I got off Facebook. You get lots of different free sublimation pages where you get free sublimation pictures and you get free clip art pictures, things like that. There's lots of groups on there, so I get quite a lot of images from there. I don't know what the deal would be if you were selling them, so that's something that you would need to look into copyright and license wise. I have already downloaded the images to my computer. I am now going to import them. So I'm going to go to Insert, Picture from this device. This isn't a tutorial on Word, I'm basically just going to get it in and then show you what to do from there. I'm going to go to my downloads, and this one was the first two that I downloaded today, so I want this one. Look at that, how cool is that? Love it. And I'm going to insert a blank page, insert my other picture. Isn't that brilliant? Because you have got two sides to this. They're both sublimatable. So if you want, you can just do one side and leave the other white. But I think it would be better to do both. And I thought this would be perfect. Right, so it's 8 by 10. And I'm going to quickly size, height, I want 10. Width, I want 8. Okay, so there we go. And for our other one, we might be able to get them both on the same page actually. I am going to do the same. Oh, did I say 10? I wanted it 11, didn't I? That was silly, Fiona. Right, so take off the aspect ratio. I want the height at 11 and the width at 8. I'm going to go down to this one. I think I did that wrong. I think I did make it 10. I don't want 10, I want 11. Let's see if it'll let us put it on the same page. Now, yeah, we're changing the aspect ratio so it doesn't look exactly the same, but it's fine. And what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to put them right next to each other. So that size is 11 by 8, that size is 11 by 8. So that is our design ready to go. I lost a bit of footage when I was measuring the blank, but basically you want your design to be maybe about ½ centimetre bigger each way than your actual blank, just to give yourself a little bit of leeway. So I'm going to go to print. Now, when you are printing sublimation, you need to make sure that you're using the right printer if you've got more than one. So that's mine, the ET2710 series. And you want to go to printer properties because there's a couple of things that you need to do. First of all, A4 is what we're printing on, so that's fine. We're doing it in portrait. Paper type, I think I just leave it plain paper. And quality, I'm going to change to high because you want it the best quality possible. Colour, and that's everything on this page. And then if we go to more options, A4, that's fine. Now, colour correction is a difficult one. You do get colour, what are they called? It's an ICC. It's like a program that comes with your printer that you can change it. I usually leave it on automatic. Sometimes if it looks odd, then I'll go in and change it. And if you go to advanced, you can change the brightness and things there. You can go to ICM, I think, which is like the program thing that comes with your printer. This isn't, I don't think it's going to be an issue with this because of the types of colours that it is. So I'm just going to leave that as automatic. And you want to untick high speed. That's always ticked. You want to untick that because it's not very good quality if you do it on high speed. Now, when you're sublimating, you normally want, or you do want to mirror image your picture because it will go on backwards otherwise. This is especially important. It's the same as if you're doing iron-on transfers. If you've got any writing, you definitely want to do this because it will come out backwards. With an image like this, I don't think it will make any difference, but it's good practice to do it anyway. So I am going to hit mirror image and then I'm going to show you the paper that I'm using. You get loads of different sublimations out there. It's entirely up to you what ones you want to use. Just now I'm using the Ink Experts dye sublimation paper. You do get different papers for different things. This is really meant for hard surfaces. These are relatively soft, but I think it'll be okay. And you do need to note that there will be a print side and a non-print side with these. So this one, the print side, is face up under this sheet. That's important to get the best quality. So let's go over to my printer. So this is my sublimation printer and these are the ink levels here. I've got my paper in the right way. Please excuse the shadow from my gonk. So that is it, all ready to go. I'm just going to hit print now. Right, my printer was playing up there, but we seem to be working now, hopefully. And we'll just let this print and then I will come back to you. Right, now your pictures will look a bit strange when they are printed because sublimation ink does look a bit different until it's actually heated up. So don't worry if it's a different colour than what you expect. The other thing that I forgot to say that you're going to need is some heat tape. You can't use normal sellotape because it will melt. Trust me, I've tried it. So you can get heat tape, just Amazon, anywhere like that. It's not an issue. But yeah, do not try to use normal sellotape. Right, I just want to check size-wise. These are going to be fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these out. They don't need to be exact, but I would recommend that you cut them as straight as possible. It just makes it easier when you are trying to place your blank on it. And it is good to have a little bit of excess, at least at one end, for your tape to stick to if you're not making your image slightly bigger than your blank. You do want something for your tape to. Try not to touch the blank with your hands, the picture with your hands. You don't want to get fingerprints or anything on it. Now, some people do sublimate both sides at once. I prefer not to do it that way. It's entirely up to you. I just usually prefer doing it one side at a time. I think you get a better result that way. So that is this design ready. I'm not going to actually heat it just now because I don't want to put my heat press on to have to put it off again while I'm designing my other one. So I like to get all my designs ready to go before I put my heat press on. So that's design number 1. Let's now have a look at design number 2. Right, for our second design, I am now in Design Space and I am going to go to upload. I have already uploaded it, so this isn't a design, so I will just add this to my canvas. I can do a separate tutorial if you want to know how to upload to Design Space. Now I have measured my circle, it is 9 centimetres diameter, and so I'm going to bring in this circle is basically like a template so that I know what size I'm going to do. So I have measured my air freshener and it is 9 centimetres. So I'm going to make my circle 9.5 just to give me a little bit of leeway right round it. There we go. And now I want to get this to the right size by putting it on this circle. Okay, it's going behind, so I just right click, bring forward, and it's now in front. So now I want to resize this down like so. I could cut off some of the design so that it's just a circle, but to be honest, because it's flat at the bottom, I don't really want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it down so that it all fits in as much as possible to my circle. That's not too bad. I am going to lose a little bit down here, but that's fine. And what I'm going to do is the circle behind it, I am going to change the colour. So I'm going to change this to a print then cut. I don't know if it will let me do this or not. And then I'm going to change the colour, and instead of colour I'm going to go to pattern. I'm going to go to filter. I want it sort of blues, and this looks like a sort of sky. Oh, that would be it. In fact, I'm going to have to make this a little bit smaller because my circle's actually slightly bigger than my blank. If I lose a little bit off the edge, it's not that big a deal. Right, let's see whether it will let us flatten these. It does. So hopefully it is going to print exactly like this. Let's find out. So that's why I wanted to do that in here, so that I'm getting the shape that I want rather than using Word and then just having to guess at the shape. So what I need to do, because we've got two sides, I'm going to duplicate this. So we now have two exactly the same, and this time I'm only going to mirror one of them, and that way one's one way and the other is the other, if you know what I mean. There's no writing on it, so it shouldn't make any difference. It just means that the front and back will look exactly the same, I think. So I'm going to do flip, and I'm going to do flip horizontal. There we go. And that way when we fold them on top of each other, they'll be the right way, I think. Let's find out. So I'm now going to go to make. Right, so now it is showing us what it's going to look like on our paper. And then I'm going to continue. Now we need to send it to our printer. So send to... Now this is the right printer that I want. It's my Sublimation printer. I'm going to... I might just leave add bleed on, and it's important to hit use system dialog, so that you can control the printer settings. So then if you click print, you will get a box up from your printer. Here it is. Sometimes it goes behind that one, so you just need to look for it. So it's my Epson printer. I want to go into preferences. I've got A4, portrait, plain paper. I want to change standard to high. Everything else there seems okay. I want to go to more options, A4, automatic colour, take off your high speed. I'm not going to mirror image at this time because I've already done it in my actual document, and I'm going to and then I'm going to press print. So I'll come back to you once this is printed. So my image has now printed. And it's up to you. You can get your Cricut to do the print and cut. I'm actually not. I'm just going to cut around these just now myself, because my Cricut's a bit of a nuisance at the moment and I can't be bothered calibrating it just now, to be honest. So I'm just going to cut round. Plus I want to leave just a slight border to make it easier for sticking the bit of paper on. Right, let's just take our circle and see. Yeah, that's going to be fine. So we have two designs ready. And this one, so now it's time to get our heat press heating up so that we can actually get these babies printed. Right, I just went on to Beebeecraft to see if they had any information about the right heat to sublimate these at, and discovered that we actually have arches in this pack as well. That would probably have been better for the SpongeBob shape, but it's too late now, I've done it. I just wanted to point that out to you. There are 4 shapes, not just 3. And there's no information on the Beebeecraft website about the sublimation temperature. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to Google it. Sublimation Air Freshener time and temperature. Make sure the whole thing is under the heat plate, pressed for 60 seconds at 385 degrees for, so 60 seconds, 385 degrees. So let's go over and set up our heat press. Excuse the light over this side of the room, it's not the best. So I'm going to use my Cricut Easy Press. I think you can probably use an iron, but I would be more comfortable using a heat press. I do have a big one, but for the size of these, I'm just going to use my Easy Press. So I'm going to switch it on. And it said it was Fahrenheit. Oh, 385 it said, wasn't it? There we go. And we want it for 60 seconds. So I am just going to let that heat up while I get my design sorted. Right, let's do our bear first. So I will do the head first. And I find the easiest way to do it is to have the picture face up. And that way when you put the blank on, you're pretty sure that you're getting all the bits that you want to. So we're just getting the top of that and no more. Let's put that up a little bit. I think that would be about right. So I'm now going to take a bit of my heat tape and I'm just going to tape it down, basically just to make sure that it stays in position when we put the heat press on it. You don't have to do this, but I would always recommend it. There we go. So that is our bear ready, and we can get one side of SpongeBob ready while we're waiting. So we want this to be as straight as possible. I might actually just fold it slightly so that I know where the centre is, top and bottom, so that I know we're straight. That's my heat press ready. So there is the centre at the top. If I move it down slightly, I should get all of the picture in. Oh no, wait, now if I move it up slightly, just trying to get as much of it in as possible. It doesn't matter if it's not exact. Right, let's go to the heat press. Right, when you're pressing it, it's always best to have the ink side up and the blank down. And make sure that you put something on top of this, because the sublimation ink, when it heats up, will go through the paper. So you want to protect all of your surfaces. The bottom surface is fine because that's my blank, it's not going to go right through that. But I'm just going to put a bit of cardboard on there. And then I'm going to put a bit of Teflon paper, a Teflon sheet on there, and then I am going to press it. Make sure we're on it, press the button, and it said light to medium pressure, so I'll just press it slightly. Now this will be hot when you take it off, so you might want to have a heat glove ready depending on who you are. I usually don't bother, I do have one. Here is my heat glove. I don't know if I'll use it or not. We'll see how hot it is. Right, take this off and... oh, are we ready? It's looking good. Now I'm going to put this under something heavy. It did sort of shrink up a bit, so I just want to make sure that I'm flattening it out while it's cooling down. I didn't realise it was going to do that, so yeah, it would be good to know, have something heavy on standby to flatten it out. And you can see the difference on the paper where the ink has came off. It's very clever sublimation. It does stink though, so I would always advise a well ventilated area, like have your windows open and things. There we go, so that's one side. Just take that heat tape off. I will now get my SpongeBob, just to let you see though, can you see on the card there where the image has came through, so that's why you need to protect your surfaces. So here is our SpongeBob. We're going to put an image up, a spare bit of paper over it. You can use greaseproof paper or something like that, but I've got lots of spare paper sitting about anyway. And let's press it. Here we go, let's flatten it. And again, you can see where a lot of the ink has came off. While I'm letting that cool and flatten, I'm just going to prepare my other side of my bear. So I'll put the picture up. I'll put my blank on here and make sure I've got as much of it as we want to get. Do want to try to make sure, mind you, I was going to say want to make sure that the head's at the right bit, but to be honest, the head from the front's a lot bigger than the bear from the back, so that isn't really an issue. Here, we don't want to put too much tape on the actual blank because I don't know how much it's going to affect the picture that we've already printed. So we will find out. And there's our SpongeBob nice and cool now. So what I want to do this time, again, I'm going to have the paper facing up the way, but just in case any of this ink comes back out, I'm going to put some paper underneath it as well to protect my heat mat. Put another bit of paper on top, Teflon paper. And here we go again. Right, let's see how this is looking. Right, we're going to let this cool under the mat. And I'll go and place this on the I have tried to line this up as much as possible with the other side, but we'll see how it goes. Design side up. So the paper's facing, basically you want the heat to go directly onto the sublimation paper if possible. Another spare bit of card. Teflon sheet. Make it nice and flat. Right, let's have a look at our air fresheners then. So I've got the head coming through the front and on the other side. I just think that is brilliant. I love it. And SpongeBob, it should be the same on both sides. Now we did flip the image. Yay! So it's slightly squint. You can see there that the little hole is at the top of the SpongeBob circle, whereas there it's going slightly over, but it's okay, you're not going to notice it, it's not too noticeable. So what we need to do now is put our elastic on for hanging it. So you get plenty in here, and you can make it as long or as short as you want. What I would say, I don't know if it's actually, oh my goodness, whoa, loads and loads and loads. I don't know if they're all separate. No, I don't think so. Right, so what I would say is if you're going to be using this in a car, I wouldn't dangle it from your rear view mirror because that can be a distraction. Probably hang it on one of the handles above one of the passenger windows. So how long you want it to be is entirely up to you. I'm going to cut it here. And I'm just going to pop it through the hole. It's up to you how you tie it. Let's just do a little knot like that, and snip off the excess so it will hang up like that. Now the little tassels, I was having a look in the picture, I was wondering where the jump things and the little eye screw things came in, and it seems that it's for putting the tassels in the bottom, so you don't need to put a tassel on if you don't want. If you want a tassel, you could add it up there. I might do that on the other one just to show you, but the way that they've got it in the on the website, I'll just go for a green one. This is going to go in our car, the bear one, so I'll go for a green one. And what they have done is, I don't know how well it will stay in here without glue, but we'll find out. So basically what they've done is just screwed it in the bottom here. There we go. So basically just push and turn, and then our jump ring, just open it up, pop it through the tassel, pop it through the eye hook, the eye screw even, and close. And there you go. I'm not sure how well that will stay in, but that's how they've done it on the website, and that's really cool. So I like that. All we need to do now, in fact, we'll finish this one, we'll finish SpongeBob, and then we'll add our fragrance. So again, just measure out what sort of length you want it to be. Pop it in. I might use a blue on this one because it's a beach, sunny day at the beach. I wish. It's a rainy day here as always in Scotland in the summer, or at least this summer. Right, so instead of putting it in the bottom this time, I'm going to try putting it in here, just to see what it looks like. Just tie this off, like so. Cut the excess, and there we go. So you've got your little tassel on there. I don't know, it's up to you which way you prefer it. You can have the tassel on the top or on the bottom. It probably is nicer on the bottom. I'm just not 100% how secure that will be, but you can have it any way you want. Now we need to do our scent, and all we do is take our scent, and you basically just want to put a couple of dots of scent wherever you want. You can add as much or as little as you want, depending on how much of the scent you want. This one's got a little dropper, so let's try using that. We'll be posh. And you can see it's clear, so we'll put a bit up here, a bit down here. We'll just do a bit in the four corners and see how that goes. And we'll do the same with SpongeBob, and hopefully that will dry nice and clear and we won't see it. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Oh, that's a nice smell. Coconut and vanilla. But like I said, you can use any scent you want. Just make sure that it's clear so it's not discolouring your air freshener. Put a bit on his bum. And a bit on his face. There we go. And what you want to do is make sure that you pop it into one of your little bags straight away to keep the scent as fresh as possible. Now the scent will sort of fade over time, and you can simply apply more scent or a different scent if you want. You can keep reusing them. You don't need to throw them away when they run out of scent. But if you put it straight into the bag, like so, because it will seal the scent in, and that way you can make it a nice gift for someone. You can sell it, but again, just be careful with the design you use if you're selling them. So close that. And then when you go to use them, you can either do what you do with the, you know, the magic trees that you get for the car, and you can just sort of take it out a little bit at a time, or you can take the whole thing out at once. So I can still see my little scent there. I'm waiting to see whether it does dry, to see whether we can see it. It might be worthwhile doing it on a darker bit that you don't see. We'll find out once it's dry. You can still see the dots once it's dry, but it's not overly noticeable. If it bothers you, you can always put the dots on a darker bit of the picture. And we'll take another bag for SpongeBob. There we go. And they're self-adhesive, which is fab. And there we have our 2 air fresheners, ready to rock and roll. How great are they? So I love this kit, perfect. I'm definitely going to make a lot more of them, definitely worth the money. And you can use whatever design you want. You can, like I said, you can use a family photo, you can use a photo of your pets, you can use anything from the internet, you can use whatever you want. Just be careful of licensing if you're selling it. Now, like I said, I got these images on Facebook. You can also get them on sites such as Canva, Design Bundles, Creative Fabrica, that sort of thing. There's loads of different sites you can go on for images. And yeah, there we go. That is it. Dead easy. And sublimation, to me, is a brilliant craft because there's so many things you can do with it. I am going to be doing more sublimation on my channel over the next wee while, so look out for that. So once again, thank you to Beebeecraft for gifting me this kit. I will have the links, like I said, in the description of this video, as well as a 10% off discount code for you. Go check them out. And if you have enjoyed this, please do hit the thumbs up button. Talk to me in the comments below. Let me know what you think of this kit. Do you do sublimation? Do you fancy doing sublimation? If you've ever got any questions, please feel free to ask me. If there's anything from today that you weren't sure about, that you want a specific tutorial on, like Cricut Design Space or that sort of thing, just let me know. And yeah, subscribe if you haven't already, please, and I will see you in our next one. Thanks everyone. Bye!